Hey everybody, how are you? This is the energy update for September the 21st, and thank you for watching. I'm Jaya Victoria, and here we go. So, can you tell I have a journalism degree? Okay, I do. So, okay, what can I say about the energy update? It feels honestly a little bit like we're retreating with our energy. Are you feeling this? We're a little bit like watching what's going on in the world, and we're a little bit like, I'm gonna just like take a minute, pull back. I was at Mass tonight. I go to this Mass sometimes here in New York. I call it the hot Mass because everybody who goes is really hot for some reason. Because all the hot people go to Mass at 7 p.m. on Sunday. But there was this moment after, if you've ever been to a Catholic Mass, like there's this moment when they're cleaning up all the stuff for communion, and the priest is kind of taking a minute. And I noticed that it was so strange because the Mass was so packed that there was standing room only, people standing at the back of the church. I was one of the people, like just standing, nowhere to sit even. It was packed, the whole place. And in that moment where there was that gap between the priest doing things, it was totally silent. And I was like, is this really happening with this many people in the same place? It was totally packed. I don't know how many people, 100 or more. Not one person talking. And I knew that not one person was talking because it was so silent, but also because someone was talking really loud outside the church and we could all hear it. So there was no voices in a room with that many people. And I took it in really deeply because I was like, this is very meditative. But also I felt like people are stressed. Like people really need God right now. People are, maybe that's why it was so packed. I don't know. It's not usually that packed. Never seen it like that. But it was sort of everybody kind of just being silent together, like we're all feeling something and kind of in deep inside of ourselves feeling something. I don't know what to call it, but it's sort of like some kind of knowing, I think, that we all have inside right now. Not really sure what it's about, but it's something that we're not grieving, we're not mourning, we're just sort of like humbled, maybe is the word, by the fact that we really need God here. And I feel that in my own life, and maybe you're feeling that right now too. And so I feel, that's what I'm saying, I feel that feeling from you guys even watching. It's kind of like this feeling of we're kind of just taking a minute to detach a little bit from all the stuff going on and coming back into our own souls and going like, I'm just going to be here for a second and kind of like take a second by myself, and that's, I think, the right thing to do right now. I think it's a time where we don't know what's going on. We don't know how it's going to turn out. We do have to have faith. We do have to have trust in God. We do need to do it purposely. And I think it's sort of a feeling of almost like, it's not fear, but I think it's hope that God, that the light will prevail. I think it's like we really need that. We need to see that. We need examples of that. We need hope. And I think deep inside of ourselves, we're all good at our core, even if we see things really differently, because we are all positive energy as our identity. And there's a seriousness to this feeling, though, isn't there? There's sort of like this serious feeling of like, man, I really hope that things turn out. I really hope that God steps in. I really hope that we choose the light. And if you're worried about things going on and you're feeling confused and feeling overwhelmed, which I think is easy right now, I'm not only going to recommend that you detach from the news and detach from looking at stuff. I'm going to recommend that you come back to your own soul, like I'm talking about, taking a step back, but also reaching out to God with your spirit. And I'll link a video I did yesterday about how to do that in the description. And I actually went to confession after Mass, and the priest told me something I want to share with you because it really helped me. And I feel like it's so relatable. I'm so grateful that he said this to me. I'll just be vulnerable and say one thing that I shared in my confession was I just felt like I'm never going to be good enough for Jesus. I just was like, I don't feel like I'm going to be good enough ever. You know, it's hard. I always feel like I'm not measuring up. I always feel like I'm not doing things right. I'm not doing things the way that he would have me do them. I'm not able to like get this, you know? I feel bad about that, genuinely. Like you can see it makes me emotional. Like I really feel like I suck sometimes, you know? And he said to me, I think the best answer, which was, that's all of us. You know, he was like, that's every single person. None of us measure up. None of us are. It kind of shocked me when he said it. He was like, you will never be good enough. And I was like, oh, whoa, hold on. What else are you going to say? But he was like, you're never, none of us ever will measure up. None of us will ever deserve the love that Jesus gives us. That's not how it works. And I really needed to hear that. I didn't even know that I needed to hear that so much. And he said, that's just not how it works with him. He gives you unconditional love. He doesn't want you to figure things out and then go to him and be like, now I'm ready to talk to you. You know, I figured everything out. I feel really good about myself and let's talk. You know, I feel good enough to talk to you now. He was like, he wants you to come when you don't feel good enough. He wants you to come when you feel broken, when you feel not enough, when you don't know how to figure things out. That's when you go to him. And he said there must be some kind of neural pathway in your mind that's really strong where you believe that you need to impress somebody to make them love you. And that really hit home for me. And I know that this is relatable. That's why I'm sharing it, because I've talked to people about this, you know, my clients. I've talked to a lot of people about the concept of God and Jesus in your relationship. And the priest described, like, he said, it's like you think he's standing there with his arms crossed and tapping his toe and saying, like, you're messing things up again. And I realized I actually did think that he was doing that. I did think that he was looking at me with judgment and being like, you're going to mess this up again. You are messing things up. You're ruining everything, in fact, with your free will that I gave you. Why did I do that? And he said, that's not Jesus. That's somebody who did that to you in your life, in your childhood. That's maybe a parent or someone else. That's who did that to you, and it created this neural pathway that made you think that you're not good enough and you have to impress people, you're not allowed to mess up, and you're going to be punished, and you won't be loved, especially if you can't figure things out. And he said, you have to like break that neural pathway and realize that Jesus is different than everybody else. And it's really a temptation to think that you have to fix yourself to go to him. And I just feel like that's such a relatable message, that we can think of Jesus as our dad, the way our dad might have treated us. That might be who we think Jesus is, or maybe an older sibling, or maybe some other figure in your life that would only conditionally love you, would only love you if you got things right, would love you if you did what they wanted, would love you or give you prove you or praise you if you were successful. And if you weren't, you did kind of get a pullback on the love, and you got, judgment and withdrawal of affection. And he just said very clearly, like, that's not Jesus. That's someone else. And you're thinking that Jesus is that person, but it's just because you have such a strong pathway in your mind that that's the way things work, that you have to break that when you go to Jesus. You have to understand that he's different from everybody else. He's the one you go to, like I said, when you're broken, when you're not good enough, when you don't know how to fix things, when you don't know what you're going to do, and you don't have to be good enough to approach him. And that, I just wanted to share that too, because I'm Catholic and I feel like I should know that already. And I really didn't know that. There's something about him saying it that way that really made it super clear that in my mind, in my imagination, who Jesus is was not actually Jesus, but was like my dad, or was like someone else who conditionally was loving me. And humans are humans, that happens in life. But like, I encourage you to think about, when you think of Jesus, when you think of God, who are you picturing? Is it your dad? Is it someone who didn't approve of you? And I think that keeps us from going to him and connecting for real and getting help from him. And I almost felt embarrassed, like, I don't know, just as a human, like, I'm only speaking for myself, but again, I think this is really relatable, that like, I just feel like it's like, how can you go to the creator of the universe and not be at your best? How can you actually be at your worst and go to the creator of the universe and talk to him, and you're like, I'm really not doing well. It just feels like, how do I do that? But that's what we need to do. And I think that's actually really cool that it works like that you don't have to be fixed. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to fix yourself. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know how things are going to work out for you to approach him and his energy. And in that video I did yesterday, I talk about the energy of Jesus. If you have issues around the idea of Jesus, then get to know the energy, because that'll really teach you a lot. And I just feel like this is such a, it really just made me rethink things and not feel as bad about myself. And so I hope that that's healing for you too, that you don't have to be fixed, and you don't have to be perfect, and it's okay if you don't feel good enough. It's okay if you're not good enough. It's okay if you don't feel like you know how to figure things out and you mess up. And I think that it's really lovely that that's the way it works, actually, that he wants us to come to him in that place and doesn't judge us for it. And that's not an experience we've really had with a lot of people on earth, is being able to go to them very broken and them completely opening up their arms and welcoming us, and not only welcoming us, but being able to solve our problems. Like, that's not an experience that we maybe have had ever here on earth. So even having the concept that that's possible with him is beyond us, but I encourage you to try, because I know that he doesn't let us down, and he always, it's not him that rejects us, it's us that rejects him. And so if you go to him, he's never going to leave you hanging. And I feel inspired by that. You know, I really feel like that's an incredible thing to think about and hear, and I'm excited to try it out more and to come to him not perfect, come to him not doing well, come to him feeling truly incapable sometimes, and letting him be there for me. So I want you to do the same. I want you to know that, yeah, you might not find answers in the world right now, and you might not find peace in the world, you might not find hope or solace or things that you really need, but there's an energy that you can go to find those things, and you don't have to be perfect or ready or capable or anything to approach that energy. And there is a sort of solemn feeling in the air right now, and I want you to know you're not alone. And it feels like there's this deep reconditioning or deep reset happening within our souls. I've been sleeping a lot, so if you're sleeping a lot, I think that's normal. Feels like a really deep, like, oh, I'm tired too, really deep change. And I know that a lot of people who do videos, you know, makes me laugh. Like, there's so many videos here on the internet, on YouTube, like, your life is gonna change really soon. And I know I've been saying for a long time, like, it feels like we're there, we're almost there. Some big change is coming. But I really feel like, I now feel like we're in it, and we're not gonna go back. You gotta keep going forward. And I think it's kind of the vibe is like, keep going forward one step at a time. Play the song One Step at a Time by Jordan Sparks if you need a theme song. That's what I do. and bring Jesus with you as your coach. Like $1 Million Baby, if you know that movie, like, she has a coach, and he's like, you're my, I forget the word, mashugala or something. But like, I feel like we're doing it, but we like need a coach in our corner to fight this fight, and that's Jesus. And why is it him? Because he's the only one who can solve all our problems like that, and because he's the only one who will really accept us in the broken states that we can be in as souls and not reject us. And I still find that totally amazing, by the way. I'm like, I can't believe that you won't reject me in that state. I find that really healing, you know? And he'll never give up on you. And I think as long as we hold on to him, like, we're going to be okay. He is the resurrection energy. He is the triumph over darkness. It's there already. That's all I can say. It's already happened. In the death on the cross and the resurrection, it already happened. He already defeated all negativity. So he, I think, is like if you imagine, like, what we're trying to do right now is like almost like shoot an arrow through a tiny keyhole at the end of the other room, or at the end of the room. Like, imagine we're like shooting an arrow, and it has to go in this tiny keyhole, like in a door across the room. How are you possibly going to do that? The resurrection energy is the straight through the keyhole energy. It's like unlocks everything. It's so precise. And it's a light purple, beautiful energy. And I really think that's the only way. And it's humbling. And if you get communion, I encourage you to go get the Eucharist, because that's literally eating the body of Christ. It's getting it inside of you. And I try to go get it as much as I can. There's a newly ordained, or is that the word? Ordained? There's a new saint. He died when he was like 15, Saint Carlo Acutis from Italy, and he just became a saint. He died in like 2006 or something. I forget, 2011. I forgot the date, but he's really amazing, and I've had miracles happen by praying to him. And he said in his lifetime, like, he made a lot of predictions about the future, and he said there will be a time when people won't know what the truth is, and I feel like we're kind of there right now. Or very there right now. And he said the only way, like, during that time, like, the way to come back to the truth is the Eucharist. Like, I know not everybody's Catholic, but, like, I'm just saying, like, if you have the ability to get the Eucharist, like, I truly encourage you to. And if you don't get the Eucharist, or you can't, like, what the Eucharist means is the gift of the sacrifice of Jesus. It's the resurrection energy. So anybody can access that. But if you can get the Eucharist, do it. Because it's like what he's saying is what I'm saying, with the keyhole and the precision of the resurrection energy and the perfection of it. Speaking of perfection and being good enough, that is the good enough energy. And that shows up in your life and in my life too. Like, we have the ability as spirits to be very strong and do incredible things. But, like, what is an incredible thing? What does that mean? That means doing something that conquers darkness. That's what it means every time. That's the whole thing that we're doing here on earth, is learning how to conquer darkness constantly. It's like all we're doing all the time. And when we call things great or inspiring or good, that's what we're talking about. So this resurrection energy can come through us and do things. And you don't have to be a church person. You can do it as yourself. Like, you're supposed to be who you are. You're supposed to be you, you know, who you are, and do things with this energy of cracking open darkness and spewing light into it. And whatever that means to you, whatever gets you fired up and excited about life, whatever that is, you know, that's the resurrection energy coming through you. And I really believe in that. And so it's like, all I'm saying is that it's already there. We just need more of it. You know, we need more of it so that we can be more precise, so that we can crack through more darkness, so that we can be more powerful. That is the power. The power is the resurrection, light over dark, the conquering of darkness. And I'll explain really clearly again what I'm saying. When Jesus died on the cross, he didn't just physically die, he absorbed all the negative energy that could ever possibly, you know, all of it. He died, and when he resurrected, he conquered not just death itself, but all the negative energy. He conquered it. All of it. And so, as someone who works with energy, that's incredible. And that's how I clear energy, is I know he already cleared it. And I just bring his presence in through different physical elements, like his blood and the water that gushed from his heart when they stabbed him, you know, they cut him open on the cross. His hands, any element of him is capable of actually dissolving negative energy instantly, because he is the resurrection. You know, the resurrective energy is like, it's just so weird to talk about. It's like it already conquered all the darkness. It's just kind of like we need to access it, we need to invite it, we need to bring it in, we need to want it, because it's not something that doesn't want you. It's always, like I said, the other way around. We keep it out. Let it in, you know? Seek it. I heard this tonight. Seek me, you know, seek and you shall find. God says a lot of stuff like that in the Bible. Like, when you look for me, I'll come to you, is basically what he's saying. So look, ask, seek, and let more of that into your life, because it's only going to make you stronger. And energetically, spiritually, you know, we need that. You need that. And whatever way you have to invite that in, whether it's getting the Eucharist or praying or asking, or even just being a little more open to the idea of Jesus and the energy of Jesus, and even just visualizing that light purple energy that I talked about. I believe when people talk about the violet flame, that's potentially what they're talking about. It's that resurrection light purple energy. So it's not just so powerful, it's the most powerful energy in the energy world. So when I look at the energy world, there's nothing else we need more right now than that. It's everything. It's like everything hinges on that. It can unlock everything. It can heal everything. It can heal your situation right now. And not only is this just an energy, but remember, Jesus is a person. And to approach him, this person, with that humility and not being perfect and not having things figured out, like, I think that's really wonderful too, to try that. You can even just lay in your bed and talk to him like a person and tell him your problems, and try to connect with him and just see how you feel. And yeah, I think I got the message out today. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. But I'm doing a 5-day challenge starting tomorrow, by the way. It's called the Body Business Breakthrough. And I'm going to be doing 5 energy clearing sessions Monday to Friday. They're going to be posted in a group, and they're going to be links that you can watch. And I've already recorded 2 of the sessions. They're so awesome. And I just wanted to invite you, if you'd like to get some energy clearing, which only gets your spirit clearer and helps all the things I'm talking about. Jesus taught me how to do this method, and it's here to help you get clearer, get more access to your power, personally resurrect. And it's through, it's what I talked about, the divine mercy, his resurrection. I really love my work. And so if you would like to do that free challenge, you can email me. I'll put my email in the description as well. And I would love to have you included in getting some of this work on your energy, which is really important. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Lots of love. Stay hopeful.